Hey everybody, Shane here, Shoebox Legends. Thanks for stopping by for another buyback rummage today here on the channel. These are a great passion of mine in the hobby. Love these vintage and modern Topps cards that are bought back, stamped, and pack issued for a second time. And as we typically do in these rummages, I'm going to comb through this box, which has some really nice buybacks in it for probably about 10 or 12 minutes. But before we get into that, I have a couple of random eBay pickups on the buyback front. These all came in, I'd say, in the last month or two from this year's Topps Heritage product, which has the box topper buybacks that were originally 1975 Topps issues. Got the Fergie Jenkins Hall of Famer, and a really great pitcher. I've talked about him a few times recently on the channel, and I'm happy to have that one. And then not in the Hall of Fame, but a really good player, great catcher, and these two would have made really good battery mates back in the day, in the late 60s, early 70s. Bill Freehan of the Detroit Tigers. And I love the image there, the classic post swing. Each of those was just $1 or $2, and they may make compelling additions to my buyback Franken set. We'll have to see. And then lastly, a more modern card. This was a 2013 Topps card that was actually a highlight checklist card, paying tribute to unanimous first ballot Hall of Famer Mariano Rivera and his retirement, him calling it a career. So I love the card. I love the imagery from Topps, choosing a very fitting image of him, handing over the ball and coming out of the game as a tribute to his retirement. So I respect the heck out of that guy. He really just owned Major League Baseball for the majority of his career, and very understandable why he'd be a first ballot unanimous Hall of Famer. And that's a 2014 Topps card. And miraculously, no way I could have known this, we have a follow-up 2014 Topps buyback as the first card out of the rummage. And it's Giancarlo Stanton. And there's a little bit of a mark or something on this one. I don't know if that will come off the card, but 2014 Topps Giancarlo Stanton. This guy is a beast. And this is a rediscover Topps buyback from 2017 Topps. So this got pack issued twice within just like a 4-year span. There were some newer buybacks as well. Stanton, he's had some trouble with injuries and whatnot over the years, but had one very magical season and has put together some pretty good counting numbers as well. So really interested to see how his career finishes out. Next up, we have one that I chose for the team more than the player. I've talked about these before, but I absolutely love Seattle Pilots buyback cards. I love Pilots cards in general, but if I can find a buyback of a Seattle Pilot, that is a home run, especially for $1 or $2, which is, probably what I paid for this 1969 Marty Patton. This one is from the 2015 Topps Original buyback program. So some lucky collector pulled this out of a pack of 2015 Topps, or a 2015 Topps update. Really cool Pilots card there. How about Oscar Gamble, known for having arguably the best hair in Major League Baseball throughout the 1970s, and we get a good look at it here. Look at those sideburns as well. Just crazy facial hair and afro game here from Oscar. This is his 1979 Topps, not his most well-known issue, but I do enjoy this one. And I always mention this when I see the Padres uniforms from this era, but it just so happens to have my initials on the cap there. So I've actually considered getting one of those Padres caps in the past just to have my initials on a baseball cap. Next up, here's a cool one. Shout out to my hobby buddy Mookie Chilson. This is a 1970 Topps card, which is a throwback or a highlight card for the 1969 World Series game number 5. And this is a Topps Heritage box topper buyback from 2019. Great shot here of Jerry Koosman shutting the door in game 5. We get a summary on the back here. Got the box score, which is really cool. And again, I just think a buyback that honors that Miracle Mets team, and specifically one of the games in the Miracle Mets World Series from 1969 is so cool. I would imagine this one has a very good shot at making slot number 309 in the buyback Frankenset binder. Here's another Hall of Famer Louis Apparicio with the Chicago White Sox here. And I love this powder blue or baby blue White Sox uniform. I believe that might be Yankee Stadium, old Yankee Stadium in the background there. Not 100% sure on that. This card is really miscut to the point where there's like a white line along the bottom of the card and just a slim gray border along the top. It's also off center, right to left, but a gorgeous buyback. And you just do not find, for the same reason I picked up that Fergie Jenkins that we led off the episode with, you don't find the Hall of Famers from Topps Heritage available all that often, and certainly they can demand a premium when they do become available. So I love to see that Apparicio come out of the box. And we have another Hall of Famer to follow that up, and another 1979 Topps card to go with that Oscar Gamble. Check out this beautiful Jim Palmer American League All-Star. Love this. Getting his signal here from the catcher. Looks like he's got sunglasses on, if I'm not mistaken there. That's pretty cool. But a great image and a great picture and a card that, quite honestly, I kind of forgot I had in buyback format. I have a few in here that aren't in penny sleeves for some reason, so let's pull one of those. And we have another great hurler here, Bruce Hurst, on this crazy OC 1985 Topps card, which was part of the 2017 Rediscover Topps buyback program. Of course, Hurst and the rest of Red Sox Nation would have their hearts broken just a year after this card was released. But he was a really great pitcher for the team throughout the 1980s. I was too young to really watch much Red Sox back then, having been born in 1982, but just a cool card nonetheless. Let's do another one that doesn't have a penny sleeve on it here. And okay, here is an awesome card. I know this guy is not universally loved and certainly isn't looked back upon as favorably now as he was at the time in like the late 90s, but I just really remember Mark Maguire and all those epic home run chases. I understand they were fueled by some special ingredients, I get it, but you can't go back and rewrite history or deny his place in the hobby really for like a 10-year stretch, ever since he burst onto the scene with that crazy, like I think, what was it, like 40 some odd 49 home runs in his rookie season. He was huge. He had that USA Olympic team card earlier in the decade. His 87 Topps was great. And then here we have his 88 Topps with the All-Star Rookie Cup. This is a killer buyback card. Even if this for some reason doesn't make the Franken set in slot number 580, I will probably give this card the one-touch treatment, as silly as that sounds, or incorporate it into one of my other yet to be shown here on the channel buyback projects that I've been working on kind of behind the scenes. So far, I gotta be honest, that Maguire is my favorite buyback in today's video. Let's see if we can top it in the last couple minutes here. And a strong candidate with Gene Conley. And this is somebody that I've talked about before as well. But in case you missed any of those videos or you just weren't generally aware, Gene Conley was a two-sport star at the highest level, similar to a Bo Jackson or a Deion Sanders, but all the way back in the 1950s. So while he was a pitcher for both the Braves, the Phillies, and I think maybe one or two other teams, he also played for the Boston Celtics, and he won a World Series with the Braves and won multiple NBA championships playing with the Celtics, I think alongside Bill Russell. And that is a really cool achievement. I know he's not like a Hall of Famer in either sport, and so I think maybe he gets lost to time a little bit because of that. But, just to be able to make the highest possible league in those two sports here in the United States and then win a championship in both. And he had a lengthy career in both leagues. It's not like he played one season in baseball and two in basketball. He played many years in both the MLB and in professional basketball. I don't know if it was the NBA at the time. I think it was. But yeah, just really cool buyback card here of his 1959 Topps Phillies issue. So really great Gene Conley. Here's our second Pilots card of the rummage, this time from 1970 Topps. Those are the only 2 years that the Pilots had cards, were 1969 on the left and 1970 on the right. And this Wayne Comr features a really cool like spring training shot, that weird mountain or hill in the background there. But again, this was picked up. I don't really know much at all about Wayne Comr off the top of my head, but I just love, love, love Seattle Pilots buybacks. I don't think a team set is even possible, but I'll certainly pick up as many as I can. Here's a cool one, 68 Topps Braves team card. Now, first of all, I just miss these. I love the shot here inside the stadium, the whole team lined up. You have, I don't know if this is like a bat boy off to the right, standing up there. That's interesting. But also in this picture somewhere, and I'm sure I could pick him out eventually, is the great Henry Aaron, which makes this one pretty cool as well. And I like also that whoever did this buyback at Topps actually placed the stamp, with the right orientation and in the middle of the card rather than covering up, National League or the Braves team name or something like that. So just a really cool box topper. I sound like a broken record, but I just can't get over how cool these cards are, knowing that two different collectors, in this case, 50 years apart, pulled this exact piece of cardboard out of a pack issued from Topps. I just think that concept is beyond cool, and really happy to see that one spill out. And then here's the one we'll finish on today. Shout out to my buddy Dylan over at Double D Vintage Baseball Cards, who will love this one as an Angels fan. Look at this 1964 Topps Angel Backstops featuring Bob Rogers, and Ed Sadowski. Not intimately familiar with either of them, but love this card. Just a glorious image. The color, this is actually a well-centered copy. The buyback stamp is in the perfect place. You have some random crowd here in the bleachers in the background. Really, really dig these combo cards. Even when they feature lesser-known players like this, they just feel kind of special and magical compared to all of the other cards in, say, the 1964 Topps release. So big fan of these. Love to see this one come out of the box. And we'll see if it's able to make the Frankenset in slot number 61. And since we've been at it for about 12 minutes here, we'll call it there today. Some really stellar buybacks in today's video. Certainly appreciate you stopping by. I know there's a lot of content out there to consume, and so I appreciate your support, and I'll be back soon with some more content. Till then, enjoy the hobby and take care, everybody. See ya.